And welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. So, this time of year is usually my favorite part of the year because I've always been a big gamer. I like competition. I like gaming. I like gaming mainly because it's a lot of thinking. You play these games, so you really got to think a lot. And I like to think a lot. And these games are literally mental exercises. And just games in general are mental exercises, things that keep our brain sharp. We all play games to some extent. Even when you play sports, we play games far as if you're playing basketball, football, like there is thought process, there's strategy involved to those games. So everyone games. I think that's something that gets not misconstrued, but something that just people don't really have the realization of. Like everyone plays video games. Everyone plays some type of games, whether it's video games, board games. You're playing charades or something like that, or they played Monopoly during the Great Depression. I think that's when that game came out. Interesting enough, but games always, you can go back to. I try to learn how to play. Supposed to be one of the hardest games to play is Go, the Chinese game Go, and it's not really hard. It's just different. It's just different. It's really trying to understand the rules stuff, but the strategy and all the different things that goes into that game and stuff. And you're just moving little black and white little stones around and stuff. So, and that game is what 1,000 years old or something like that. Chess. People play chess. It's a game. Mental exercise. That's all it is. But this time of the year, this is when I enjoy playing Madden, bro. I go back when I was a kid when like shit like NCAA used to come out, and then I would play that game and stuff, and then get myself ready for when Madden came out. And it's funny because even when I was a kid, like playing these video games, it wasn't like my parents bought me a video game at my birthday, during my when it was my birthday and stuff. My parents bought me video games at Christmas. So in between then, I was replaying the other games, but I was also always like sharing my games with my other friends and stuff, and we're trading off. And I go to my friend's house, whatever. Then they happen to have this video game, so I could play this video game. That's how I ended up playing different gaming systems. Like I had a friend growing up, he lived down the street from me, and he had Sega Dreamcast. So that's when I played 2K Sports and stuff, like the 2K basketball, 2K football, whatever. God, I hope I don't sniff the whole way through this thing. If I do, I apologize. Not really. But the thing is, like, I like, video game stuff. So this time of year stuff, when you're playing like Madden comes out and stuff. So as I gotten older and forward Madden myself and buy these games, and I'm saving up money throughout the year, plotting out when I'm gonna spend, or making sure I make a nice funding plan or whatever in my head that okay, I know this month Madden comes out, so I'm gonna make sure I always have my money saved up to buy this Madden or whatever. And there's been times where Madden comes out, I get that shit at midnight, or I go pick it up physically at midnight, or there's been times where I just, I pre-order it, make sure it's downloaded, it's ready to go at midnight. I hop on, I start mashing out games online and stuff, getting my rank up and shit. There's been times I think the highest rank I ever had on Xbox is like 420 something, 426 something like that. Plenty of times or a couple of times where I've been ranked in the top 1,000. And the hardest part is really just like you gotta play games, man. Motherfuckers be playing games all day. I can play like 2, 3 games, and that's a lot. Cause really after that, I usually get pissed off anyways, cause the servers are not that good, or you don't have good connection with someone for whatever fucking reason. But what I've been on lately is this time of year, I like Madden and stuff. But the quality of product that's been coming out in video games is really been fucking annoying. And I know, like in my podcast, I say a bunch of different things. So not everybody is gonna want to listen to me talk about video games and all that stuff. But that's why in the description of my podcast, I put what I'm talking about because you might not want to hear this episode, or you might want to not, you might want to skip past this part. But I'm going to tie this into how corporations and businesses work. So the thing with Madden, they used to be good. They used to have a lot more things into the game and stuff, whatever. But over the years, the quality of the product has been going down. There's this guy called Ryan Moody 21. He's a YouTuber. I've been watching him a lot lately. That shit makes me laugh because he's talking about the game and stuff. He's talking about Madden. He's talking about how the low quality of a product it is and stuff. And I like it. It makes me laugh stuff, but I really like it because it hits a deeper meaning when it comes to businesses overall and not respecting their customers. Like, the game is not that good. The customers are complaining. The customers are giving you feedback, telling you, "Hey, we understand technology and improvement and stuff, whatever, but like, how come these features that used to be in the game in like 2005, 2006, 2007 are not in the game now, and it's 2020?" Like, that's an issue. So don't tell me it's technology when you used to have these same features in the game. I remember being a kid playing Madden franchise, and you were able to create your whole stadium, your whole franchise, own it throughout years and stuff. You were you was able to even fucking figure out the prices of the food at the stadium, and how much a hot dog and how much a soda would cost and stuff. Like, that's when I really got not interested, but that's one of the things I got into when understanding economics, understanding how to run a business and stuff. Like, oh wow, like you really gotta pay attention to the pricing of the food and stuff. You can't just offer anything cheap because you gotta be able to make some type of profit to pay for these certain things. So, and, you learn that stuff wherever you want to say that you can take anything from anywhere. You can always learn something from anything. It just depends on you and how you handle things and your level of awareness. So I'm playing these games and stuff. Now I'm playing Madden football, and I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on? Like, God, this shit is trash. Because you're telling me the AI can't understand how to play a zone coverage defense? Like, at least pretend. And it happens every year. And I'm like, man, and I'm playing online. I'm like, okay, y'all saying this is online competitive. You have these Madden leagues, you have these Madden Super Bowls, or these Madden Bowls, whatever, and you have all these prize tournaments for $100,000 and stuff. You have all these different things. Yet I'm watching these quote unquote professional, literally professional Madden players because they're getting paid they get paid. It's like no different than golf. You get paid as a golfer by going in tournaments and stuff, and how you place in tournaments and stuff. Same as poker. If you're a tournament poker player, you get paid based on how you seed and you finish in these poker tournaments and stuff. You get part of the prize pool. So as a Madden player, you're a professional Madden player, you're playing these tournament stuff, you want it to be competitive. Like, it really needs to be as much skill based as possible. We know it's still a video game. We understand technology is not at a certain level. Well, you know what? No. We understand that you will only allow a certain level of technology, that you're not going to put too much into it because we understand it's a business, it's an industry, and you're not going to give us all at once. So, because we have to buy the game next year. We get it. We understand that. We understand as a customer, we're aware of what is going on. But as a customer, we're also aware this is unacceptable. This makes no fucking sense. That you have Madden tournaments, you have these competitive games online and stuff, and all a fucking person has to do is run like one or two plays. One or two plays. And people will say, oh, if you can't stop it, that's not my fault. No, I can't stop it because I can only control one person at a time on this game. It's 11 people on the field on my team on football. So if I try to stop this, then that's going to lead that other thing, the other receiver to be open. If I try to stop this one receiver, then this is going to be open. If I try to stop this, then this running back is going to be open. Because the game is just not good. The AI is not good enough. It's not smart enough. And I feel like it's intentional. Well, this not, I feel like we know it's intentional. Because it makes better product, or it makes more profit when the game is fun and you're scoring a lot of points and stuff and you feel like that or whatever. And they got a little bit of challenge to make you feel like you gotta put some thought into it and stuff, but really you don't. And it's part of it too is the customers, because you gotta blame the customers, because if you know this certain play is an exploit, because you're exploiting the You're exploiting the coding, the programming within the computer software. You know that if you do this, you can get this. But instead, what do? I mean, I don't, to each their own, but at some point, we gotta accept it too as a customer. It's like, hey, even myself, like, I understand, like, I've been complaining about Madden for years, and last year I finally hit the point where I was like, you know what? Why am I buying this shit? In fact, it was the beginning of a trend for myself to be like, hey, you know what? Fuck this. If I don't like this product and I don't like this, I'm not buying it. And the thing with Madden is, if for some of you that aren't gamers and you actually still listening to this part of the conversation, so with gamers or with video game stuff, there's only one football game. There used to be like 4 or 5 when I was a kid. You had Madden. You had, I remember at a point in time, you had NFL Street that EA made. I think you had THQ that made NFL Blitz. I forget who made, but you had NFL Game Day. 2K had their own football game. They had ESPN football. There was options. But how many times have we seen this in every facet of our society where there seems to be a conglomeration of corporations? There's always a monopoly. Even though we're supposed to be in a free market system where there are no fucking monopolies. But everywhere you turn around, there's a monopoly. I remember fucking Singular when I was a kid. Next thing you know, Singular got bought by AT&T. I remember how all the different phone companies and stuff. Next thing you know, we got like three. You have Singular, T-Mobile, Sprint, and Verizon. Because T-Mobile and Sprint combined. Like, so we have three now. Like, this goes on in every facet of business. It's like once they start making billions of dollars, they have enough money to buy up other companies and stuff. And so the quality of product goes lower and lower. Think about your cell phone. I was just on the phone with one of my best friends the other day, FaceTime and stuff, and here the phone is still not having a good connection. Like, you have to start questioning, like, hey man, like, okay, it was 2020, like, I can't just have the decent things, like, some of the shit just can't fucking work, man. So I'm playing the game Madden last year, or 2 years ago, 2018, and I'm in this online league with one guy I know, one of my friends I know from when I was first deployed, when I first stationed in Guam, and some of his friends stuff, and then I was playing, and after a while, I can't play no more. And like, oh, come on, man, because they probably, I was losing. I had a bad record, and I know they were thinking like, oh, maybe he's just not good, or I was like, you're doing good. No, I just couldn't play no more because the game doesn't allow you to play a certain way. Like, you can't just, if you want to win, you gotta use these exploits. You gotta use these certain plays and stuff, and it's not real competitive, and it's not designed to be competitive. And you see this in other games like first-person shooters where there's more balance to the game. But in Madden, why would you balance the game out? Why would you make a good game when you have no competition? The whole point of free market is for us to have competition so it benefits the consumer. So they're protected because now these businesses have to make sure they have a decent product, because if not, some other person some other businesses is going to take away their customer base. You learn this in business classes. But yet, here we are with one Madden game because they have the rights to NFL. So we have one football game, I mean, not Madden, but we have one football game because they have the only rights. They have exclusive rights to the NFL. And I think they signed that back in like 2007, 2008, if not before then. I actually don't remember. It's been that long. And I think a lot of gamers who play Madden had enough. I mean, there's a reason why this Ryan Moody 21 content creator on YouTube is getting thousands and thousands of views, because it's almost to the point where it's just laughable. Like, it's more entertaining to watch someone point out all the dumb shit that's wrong with the game than it is to play the game. And just to get my whole point across, 2020 is Madden 21. The demo came out. I have an EA membership for EA Pass or EA Play, wherever they changed the name to. So I get they send out a text or email saying that, oh, the Madden demo, 10 hours is free. or you have a 10-hour demo that you can have to play Madden or whatever. One, just because I'm an EA member or membership of their little program and stuff, one, the demo should be available to everybody. There's only one fucking football game. So that alone lets me be even worried or suspicious, because if you are confident in the product that you have, you would not just leave an exclusive demo basically to people who have paid for this membership. Now, I'm not sure if I don't think the demo is available to everybody, but the demo came out like a couple of days before the game just came out this Tuesday, and I think I played a demo on like Friday, maybe this weekend, Friday or Saturday. I can't remember, but I played the shit. I played through one game. I was the Bucks. I was playing against the Steelers. Bucks are my team. Bucks are definitely my team now because they actually play on Madden. Because they actually have the offense, and they actually have the defense that I like to play in Madden anyways, 3-4 defense. But I'm playing the game, and I'm like, man, I haven't played this shit since 2018, Madden 19, and here I am. I feel like I'm playing the same fucking game. Like, like what the fuck, man? Like, I'm like, huh. So you changed some shit on the menu screen, but I mean, not really, because I didn't play the game last year, so I don't know what you really changed. And I'm like, this game plays and feels the same. I'm like, oh look, same animations. Oh look, same AI. I'm sitting there just passing ball. I know which routes to use. I know which routes to use that the AI has trouble adjusting with. And the fact that I think the settings we use on Pro are all Pro. Because it said it say in my settings and it had advanced settings. So it should have been on Pro or all. It should have been on all Pro, really. But I didn't check. If it was on Pro, and that's just a difficulty level. So now to kind of gauge how the AI is going to respond. Either way, I shouldn't just be fucking wide open, man. Just because I did a post out route from the slot with a tight end against a cover 2 zone defense. If you know anything about football, like I shouldn't be that wide open, man. The safety should come down and meet me, or the linebacker or whoever's back there should just be able to help out, because I'm running this post out route from the slot position and throwing to the sideline, and there's the AI computer player is just sitting there, not moving, not doing nothing, just sitting there. And here I am wide the fuck open. And then I throw the ball to the sideline. I only have 2 options. 3 options. I can press and hold Y for an aggressive catch, meaning I can jump really high, and I'll come back to the ball and stuff. Weird animation. I can press X to catch and run, but I'm running toward the sideline, so I'll probably fucking step out of bounds and not complete the pass. Or I can press A for a possession catch, which means I'll keep my feet in bounds stuff, but I'll fall to the ground. Like, that's literally how the game goes. You can't just catch the ball. You can't just you're the AI computer yourself, because you're not running these receivers, because when you play, you only play one position at a time, so all you can do is play the quarterback. And you throw the ball to the receiver, and then you have those 3 options to do something. Because the AI just on its own won't just sit there, stop, because they're wide the fuck open. No one's within like 15 yards of them. They're wide the fuck open. The defense is not going to move over to them at all. Just going to let them run by themselves. Like that. Understand that should not happen, man. It's 2020. You've been having this game. I've been playing Madden since like '94. If I haven't played every year, I played almost every year. And yet here we are. The shit doesn't even play that well. It plays worse than what it used to. And it's not anything what they said it was going to be like. And you say, oh, well, maybe it is hard and stuff, or yeah, they admit to this and blah, blah, that they need to do this and do that. They haven't even been caught blatantly lying about things. What it comes down to is about corporations, about businesses. Once they get to a point where they're so big and they're making billions of dollars, they no longer care about their product because they monopolize the market. There's no reason for Madden NFL football to care about making a great game, because there's no other fucking football game. with NFL licensed players. So, who are you competing against? Yourself? That's it. So all you gotta do is make slightly little changes to make people feel like it's a new game. And see, they understand the psychology of how people work. Because they buy up the data, they buy up they do the market research. When you talking about personal data and tracking your phone and tracking your website searches, all that stuff, that goes into market research. No difference than the studies they do when they're trying to figure out, is this TV going to be good? When they introduce a pilot, it's the same thing. They're understanding the market research of the customer. They're understanding the customer. I took a marketing class. This is what you do. You understand your customer to give them a better product, or you understand your customer to understand what type of product you can give them while maintaining your certain profit margin. At the same time, making sure you keep your production level low as far as your expenses. We don't have to put this much time and money into making a great game when there's no other football game for these people to play. Hey, how about instead we'll throw some celebrities into the game? Hey, how about we throw this? How about we throw in Mike? And then it's not about selling video games because, like I said, if you're not a gamer and you still listen to this part, there's microtransactions in games. There's literally gambling in games. If you haven't ever heard of an article, the things around the world that they're like FIFA, especially with FIFA, because soccer is a global sport. You have your loot boxes, and loot boxes are literal just, hey, you have a chance of getting this, and that, and you can pay like $5, and you might get this exclusive thing, or one of this rare or extremely rare item and stuff, whatever. But it's gambling. It's gambling. It releases the dopamine levels and stuff. Like they know this. Governments around the world have banned these loot boxes things. I'm not talking about when you're kids or you hear kids or people talk about buying skins on Fortnite or games. So no, they know exactly what they're getting. I'm talking about loot boxes, like just scratch offs, literally scratch offs. Like, hey, you have a chance of getting this. Oh man, that's cool. Well, at least you're getting something. Because even on scratch offs, you at least know you're getting $1, maybe your money back that you paid $1 for. You might get $2. You're getting something. So these goes into these games and these packs that these kids buy or whatever. And then I'm not blaming kids, I'm not blaming parents, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying this is what's going on. Everybody should be accountable, in my opinion. We all need to be accountable for everything. I have to pay attention to myself and make sure I don't spend money on these games, so that I make sure I pay attention to the kids and let them know what they're actually buying and what is going on. And literally, to be honest with you, the best way sometimes is to learn and make mistakes. That's a universal truth. We have to learn and make mistakes. Or in order to learn, we have to make mistakes, or see someone else make mistakes and live vicariously through their mistakes. Yeah, I mean, I told myself there are no truths, but I was wrong. Apparently, there are truths, universal truths, that things that are just known that we know are known, but we just don't talk about. So in this game, you have these loot boxes transactions with your Madden Ultimate Team, and you're buying these packs. It's trading cards. This is gambling. This is gambling trading cards. You're buying packs. No different than when we were kids. And I'm 33, so when I was a kid in middle school, everybody's buying up Pokemon cards. No difference. Same thing. You're buying up Pokemon cards and stuff. It's the same thing. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna get this holographic Charizard in this Pokemon card pack. Even though we were buying up Pokemon card stuff, even though not many of us actually knew that it was a trading card game and how to play it. Like was it Dungeons and Dragons? No. Yu-Gi-Oh is another trading card game too. But once again, go even further back. 40s, 50s, 60s. Hey, you got trading cards, basketball players, football players, baseball players. You can look up trading cards for like a Babe Ruth or something like that. How much is the value of it? Hell, Pokemon cards. Holographic Charizard, $1,000. When that shit was like $4 or $5 a pack. So even the same concept is in these games and stuff. Corporations are trying to make money off you. That's it. And we all know it, and we're aware of it. To an extent, some of us are aware of it. I feel like majority of us are aware of it, and we still keep making those choices. But eventually, at some point, we all have our limit. We all have our limit on things. At some point, we all hit that incident where we're like, okay, now we are starting to question what the fuck is going on. And I don't care who you are. At some point in your life, you're gonna look at the overall industries and society, whether you're in school, where you're at work, where you're buying food at a grocery store, where you eating McDonald's, no matter what. At some point, you're gonna be like, hey, what the fuck is going on? Because you're gonna hit that level of resistance. You're gonna find your limit, and you're gonna be like, hey, what the fuck is going on? And for those out there who are like, oh, well, it's computing, it's coding and stuff, so it's really hard and stuff. We gotta understand, when you look at things from a perspective, take the overall picture. From regular people, we're always being told that, hey, this is really complex, or hey, this is really hard and stuff. You know what? It's really hard for us to do. Now put this into your mind and understanding. When you're at a job and you work there long enough and you become a supervisor. Actually, no, when you're at a job at the beginning and you start working out and stuff, there's always some manager or somewhere that's sitting down not doing nothing, right? And then this seems to be a common thing, or at least I want to think it's a common thing. But if you can understand the example, then you understand what I'm talking about. But you're at a job and you find that one manager, that one supervisor who's always sitting down not doing nothing, and you're like, hey, you ask another employee, all right, you kind of you voice your opinion about it, wherever the case be, it becomes publicized, and everybody's like, why is this person sitting down not doing nothing? And then what do they say? Oh, I do a lot of stuff. You just don't understand what I'm doing, and blah blah. All this other stuff. Hey, that's cool. That's cool that you do a lot of stuff, and hey, I appreciate you pulling your weight at work too. But I mean, can you explain what you're doing? Oh no, don't worry, it's complicated. And that's the problem right there. Because as I say that phrase, how many times have you heard someone say, don't worry about it, it's complicated? I don't care how complicated something is. You find a way to explain the shit to me to understand. And if you can't find a way for shit to explain to me and understand, then that means my level of understanding needs to rise up. My level of awareness, my level of knowledge needs to rise up to find a way where we find a middle ground where you are saying something and I understand what you're saying. There shouldn't be that huge of a disconnect. And it's like that in society, in all facets of society, where you're at school, work, within your family, your household, personal relationships, businesses, your customer, government, medicine, any part of your reality, you have this seems to be like a disconnect. Hey, I get what you're saying to me, but I don't understand. Can you write down these words, whatever, or something, or well, can you kind of help me find the information? 'Cause you don't have to teach it to me, but I'm pretty confident in my own abilities that I can learn things because I don't need to be an expert. I don't need to be an expert programmer. I don't need to be an expert art designer. I don't need to be an expert coder. I don't need to understand networking and routing systems. I don't need to understand servers, none of that stuff. But if I can just have a basic, I don't have to be an expert on all these things. I don't have to know the details and know exactly all the names of the components and how it all works. But if I can have a basic understanding, I can have the basic information of what's going on, then maybe I can understand what you're talking about when it's complex. But if you look into any of these things, you start to realize that, hey, wait a minute. You're saying it's complex, but why is this other team or why is this other business doing it? Why is this other company doing it? So even though I'm talking about video games, understand that it actually is a overwhelming issue when we talk about corporations and businesses. How often they will sell a low quality product to us. We go with our iPhones. The iPhones and Androids and these phones come out every fucking year. And People are like, hey, some people are like, oh, why you buy this new phone every year? It's the same thing every year. And some people are like, oh, well, because this and that. I probably buy a new phone every 3 to 5 years. And I understand some of I understand most of the tech and specs that go into it. But we also know that Apple has been reported to slow down everybody's old phones. That's a huge issue. That's a huge issue. Why is Apple slowing down everything? How many times does something update itself and you're like, damn, I could have sworn my shit was working before the update. But see, they always say, oh, well, it's complex, we do this and that. And then they always got these excuses. They always got these workaround stuff. They never really give no real answers. And even though I'm talking about a video game and I'm talking about EA Sports and Madden, it paints a picture of what's going on in other parts of the industries. Think about your cars. How many times you buy a brand new car and then next thing you know the shit doesn't fucking work. Something doesn't work with it. The Tesla Y is a vehicle I've been looking at lately that I plan on purchasing in the future within the next year or so. And my thing is, I go to do reviews and stuff, and my expectations are nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. Whether it's intentional or unintentional, nothing is perfect. I'm not going to get the best quality product. Always. I'm going to get, depending on when I buy and where I buy from and what business I buy from, I'm going to get a decent product, maybe a really good product. But I'm probably not ever going to get the best product that I could possibly be available. With the Tesla Y coming out and stuff, people complain about how the imperfections, the cars weren't aligned. Some of the seat, the material, the cloth or whatever, or leather in the seats and stuff wasn't aligned up and things like that. The doors weren't aligned. So there's a little bit, and it's slightly off. We're talking about a couple centimeters off. But I commend and I respect the customers and people that complain about it. Like, hey, this car costs $50,000, man. Like, can you at least make sure everything is, I don't know, straight? Like, and yeah, put into perspective, we could be only talking about 1% of the cars that are made and stuff. So to put that in perspective, that could be a thing. But you got to keep these corporations in check. You got to keep these things in check. You have to kind of make sure that, because you're paying money for these stuff. You're paying money for this stuff. This is not like a health thing or a health issue where I know I could do something for my body. I know what I can do to make sure that I try to be the most healthy and keep my body as optimal as possible. But when I'm going to buy a car, I can't make my own car. So I need some type of level of guarantee that's going to be okay. And then to Tesla's point, though, anybody that ever one of the videos I've seen, the content creators that made the videos and reviews about the Tesla Y and then their manufacturing issues and stuff with their vehicles, they said Tesla has always fixed it for free. So that's good. But how many times you buy a car from a car lot and stuff, and it's like, oh, or it's used because it's sold as is, and you gotta buy extended warranty and all this other stuff, and oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Just another streams of revenue for a car lot. Oh, you make sure you get this extended warranty because hey, the warranty is passed out on this car, so you can't buy this car without warranty. I mean, you can, but we really don't recommend it. So here's another warranty. Here's adding on a couple extra $1,000 to your vehicle. Yet no one asks the question, hey man, why are you selling this shit? There might be some possible issues. But even when we do ask the question, we still end up buying it because we know we need a better car because the one we got does not work anymore. The shelf life of these cars. Then the new generation of cars come out every 5 years. They give it. Here's the same thing with consoles, with gaming consoles. You get an upgrade every year or so. There was something a little new tweak on it, and then the next generation is every 5 years, or every 6 or 7 years. It's around that time frame. Same thing with cars, though. It's about understanding the industry and about understanding you have a power as a customer. Hey, I don't like this type of product that you're offering. They have the vaccine from Moderna, and what's called saying it's going to be 50 to 60% effective. Hey, if I'm getting this vaccine, now, I'm not going to talk about it from a personal standpoint, from like an individual standpoint. Let's say I am a hospital, or say I'm a basketball, I'm a sports league, whatever, and I'm putting money into buying these vaccines for my employees or whatever. You telling me this thing's only 50, 60% effective? Like, that's not good, man. Like, maybe I'll wait till you work out the kinks and stuff or whatever, and you make sure all this stuff is good. It's money, man. It's money. You ever have an issue with anything in society? Follow the money. Follow the money. Where's the money going? Is the money being used? Where's the revenue for this money going? If you're making billions of dollars, why am I getting this type of product? That's all. That's all it is, man. That's all it is questions. And you can have answers. You can debate this all you want to. But just think about it. That's good. That's good. Just think about it. Because how many times have you bought something and you're like, fuck, this is not what I thought it was. Why would you sell this product? Before I even buy something, I have to read like several reviews on Amazon. And I have to research things before I buy something, because it's very important how you spend your money. It's very important how you spend your money, because there seems to be certain different levels of standards and expectations throughout different industries. I just told you there's only one professional licensed NFL football game. There's no other options. And a lot of times gamers buy stuff. You have content creators who whole income is based on them making videos, and or where it's YouTube, it's Facebook gaming, or it's Twitch, and there's other platforms. They make content. They have people streaming and watching and stuff. They get revenue, whether it's donations or ad revenue or whatever the case may be. So now they're still forced to kind of play these games because people want to see the game. Because even people don't buy it, and they're like, you know what? I live vicariously through you. Vicariously or vicariously, whatever. But I'm living through you. So you're playing this game and stuff, and then, but it's like, you gotta at some point we gotta make a choice. Like, you know what? Hey, this game is not that good, man. This game is not that good. I just tell myself, you know what? It's just, I want to play a football game. There are independent football games like Maximum Football and I think it's Doug Flutie Football. I don't know if those are the two same things or not, but there's other video games. 'Cause I looked it up on the Microsoft Xbox store on my console. So there's other games, football games. They just don't have no NFL players in it, which kind of sucks because it's like, I'm a Bucks fan. I kind of want to play with, the team that I follow in real life. Kind of cool. It's just a little experience, something fun to do for a little few minutes, couple hours, like an hour or so break. But think about it in this way, where you go to the grocery store. Look how many different variety of brands there are just sell you cereal. I shop at Publix. Publix has their own cereal. Publix has their own brand of cereal. Then they have their Greenwise works of products of cereal. I don't know. No, here's a good explanation, because I don't think it's cereal, but it's oatmeal. So Publix has their own brand of oatmeal. Then Publix has Greenwise, which is Publix owned, which is their organic line of oatmeal, which costs more than the regular Publix oatmeal. But in the organic Publix oatmeal, there's nothing in it but oatmeal. There's like 2 ingredients, because when it's organic, there's only 2 ingredients, because it's what is supposed to be in there. But when it's Publix oatmeal and it's mass produced, then they throw in some other fillers and ingredients and stuff to mass produce it. And then you have Kellogg's oatmeal, and then you have this brand of oatmeal, and then you have another brand of oatmeal. So when I go grocery shopping, I spend a decent amount of time, because look, I stay on a routine. I know what I'm getting anyways, but I'm still like, look, There's like 5 different things here. If I try to buy a new product or say I want to try something different or something new, I have to gauge through all these things. Why is there so much diversity in food, which is essential and something that we need to have? But when I play a video game, there's only one licensed NFL video game. Because there's a partnership between EA Sports and the NFL. Both parties make money. EA Sports pays a huge amount of money to have the exclusive rights. And NFL gets their paycheck. And then the customer suffers in the end. Because without that diversity, without those different options, stuff, without that competition amongst different businesses, the customer just gets the shit end of the deal with all we have is one choice. You can put that into politicians and governments. I had a local election for like county school commissioner or county school commissioner or the district commissioner or whatever the case is. For each one, there's only 2 options. 2 options. You run for you vote for president in this upcoming election and stuff. You have Trump, you have Biden. They throw Kanye West on the ballot depending on what state you're in, and then you have the independent Libertarian Party that's running that no one talks about. No one talks about the Libertarian president, female that's running, woman. No one talks about that. And she was running. She ran for president under the vice president ticket. I think back in '95, back in the '90s, because I was reading a bio about her and stuff, and I was on her website and I read some interviews about her. Really, I was more concerned what she felt about blockchain currency and stuff like that. But no one talks about that. There's options. So one area there's options, and then another area there are no options. That's kind of an issue. That's kind of an issue. I just can't get over this, man. And it's the same thing with basketball. For basketball games and video games, I mean, you used to have EA Sports made NBA Live video games. EA Sports used to make a whole shitload of sports games. Now they make now they make football, UFC, soccer, hockey. They stopped making baseball, which I don't know what. I think MLB The Show is I think it's the only baseball game. There's 2 soccer games. There's FIFA and then there's PES, which is Player Elite Soccer, or I forget what the acronym stands for. They used to make boxing. They don't make boxing no more. I don't even remember there being other hockey games stuff. And so with basketball, you had NBA Live, and then they tried to rebrand it NBA Elite. But the NBA franchise on EA Sports was doing so bad, everybody stopped playing it and was playing the 2K Sports game that they just stopped making it. I think the last one they made was NBA 19, and it just wasn't good in comparison to what 2K Sports is doing with their basketball game. But because they just didn't put quality into the product that they made, they lost out on money. But then everybody's playing 2K, and everybody's like, whoa, this game is not that good either. The 2K21 demo just dropped the other day. I played that too. I was like, wow. I played it for a little bit, I had to turn the shit off. I'm like, well, thank you, because you didn't do shit last year. I haven't played an NBA 2 game my whole life. I mean, I played it before, but I never actually purchased one. I would always play the demo and stuff, and I just didn't really like it. Last year was the first time I played NBA 2K, and I bought it, and I played it all through this. I've been playing. I could say I probably played maybe one game. One game is like 15 minutes. I probably played like one full like rec league game, which is 5-on-5 basketball with a referee and stuff, multiplayer. I probably played like maybe one of those games, maybe a game a day for like since last year, since like last September. Maybe. Probably less than that actually. But if I played one game, it was 15 minutes. Playing all that time and stuff. And yet, I still can't get to a certain level. And it's like they force you to grind out a game to a certain extent. And then they also kind of entice you like, hey, you really, it's in mobile games. They always entice you like, hey, if you spend a little bit of money, you can level up faster. And that's not part of gaming, man. Part of gaming was always the challenge of getting to a certain level, through hard work or through your own perseverance. And you're feeling that reward of it and stuff. Not, hey, if you pay this extra money, you can level up faster. You used to have to earn those cheat codes or whatever, those type of level up faster and things. But all these microtransactions within these games, which throw out some financial tips too. There's different blockchains coming around, companies that are setting up to make sure that, or to use blockchain technology to further increase the time and make the network better for these microtransactions. You see Fortnite and Apple going at it because Fortnite doesn't want to use Apple's in-game microtransaction network or whatever infrastructure. They want to use their own. Because you cut out the middleman, that's more money back to you. Why are you using Apple's infrastructure for your microtransactions when is your game, your your company is Epic Games and stuff, and you're a huge company and stuff? Why you gotta outsource if you have different ways to get this to use this technology, or you can buy this software to get your money directly and stuff, and cut out the middleman, Apple. I don't even think I even read the article. It was just from it's just my understanding from following other financial news and following things about blockchain. I was like, oh, I kind of understand the situation of this because it's not that hard. It's not hard at all. I'm no different than anybody else. I just have expectations of myself, and I know limits. I know I'm not an expert on I'm not an expert on many things, but I know I have standards where I know, hey, if I want to know something, I can learn the basics of it. And whether it might take me a couple months or it might take me a couple years, I will get to that level where I have a decent understanding of what the fuck is going on, or what the fuck I'm into, or what the fuck I'm talking about. And I know I can always go to references and things of that nature, or I know how to research and look up certain things to find out to give me more evidence, or see the different side of the story, or see different perspectives of what I'm talking about. So like I said, you have the NBA 2K game, and I'm playing the demo, and I watch some content creators stuff on YouTube, and it's just because it's funny. It's funny, it's entertaining to see that, oh, these games suck this bad. Like, hey, like, so you have Xbox Series X coming out this year, and you have PlayStation 5 coming out this year. So one argument is that, oh, everybody's like, oh, well, the current gen console game is not going to be good because they put all the work and effort into the next gen games. I don't buy that because I lived through this before. In 2006, 2007, I think Xbox had came out, the Xbox 360 had came out, or somewhere around that time, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be way better. It's gonna be way better, and it was. The graphics was better and stuff, but then you start to see the decline. And then around, I think 2013, 2014, 2015, somewhere around that time, when Madden or the new Xbox One had came out and stuff, and it's like, okay, we're going through a new generation of gaming. We're on the next generation of consoles and stuff. And like, all right, they said it's gonna be better. And I remember that year, on the current gen console, the Xbox or Madden wasn't that good, and then on the next gen console, the Xbox One, Madden was not that good. And I remember this. I'm like, so now I'm like, I have my reservations. 'Cause I'm like, you say this, and you still haven't even lived up to those expectations. And we're going to the next generation of consoles. You didn't live up to those expectations of this current generation of consoles gaming for Madden. You didn't live up to these expectations. So what makes you think I believe anything you're saying? I'll hold my money in reservation. In fact, I'll wait until your game goes down and no one plays that shit, and I'll buy it. Right now, the Metacritic score, I think, for Madden 21, I think for PS4 is 0. 0. I never really paid attention to Metacritic scores or Metascores or whatever and all that stuff, but I mean, to let you know how bad the game is, how bad Madden Sports, EA or Madden video games, EA Sports has gotten. I downloaded the EA game. I know I'm getting off. I was talking about NBA Live or NBA 2K, but I'll get back to that. I get this point across. I'm playing Madden. I download the game. First, it took a while to start because for whatever fucking reason, the game wouldn't load. The game wouldn't load up. Game wouldn't start. For whatever fucking reason, game wouldn't start. I'm like, okay, it's cool. It's cool. No worries. I'll be patient. Let me try a couple more times. Couple more times, try it. Bam, okay, it comes up. I'm all right. All right, cool. They got a Madden track going and stuff. I'm like, all right. I don't know why there seems to be a heavy influence of rap music in Madden and NBA 2K. Now everybody listens to rap music. The best thing about the Madden soundtrack was it was a variety of music. That's why it was one of the reasons, one of the multiple reasons why I always been into different types of genres of music, because when I play these video games, I hear different music. I like rock and shit from a influence of one of my cousins. Listen to that shit. Listen to different rock songs. From me listening to different rock songs or different genres of music, listen to rock songs and stuff like Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park and stuff, because of me watching TV and stuff, and because I'm playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and hey, they got rock music in this shit. But anyways, so the game loads up and stuff, and I'm like, all right, this is different. It's a different menu screen for me because I haven't played it since Madden 19, but I see clips of Madden 20, and it's not that much of a difference. But I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, I'll just go a quick play now. First, I was clicking on different things and it wouldn't go nowhere. So right off the bat, the demo wasn't even working. I think I had to close out and start it over again because I couldn't click on certain things. I'm like, okay, this is not really a good start. Whatever. And then as I'm playing the demo, I'm playing the play now and stuff. I'm like, hey. So the presentation is still the same for the most part. The commentary and what they're saying, a lot of it sounds recycled. Like they just keep using the same shit over and over. I'm looking at the field, I'm like, you made some changes, small changes, but it's not really that much of a difference. The game still feels the same. And me as a customer, I'm not asking for much because my expectations for this game are already low. And that goes with anybody who purchases Madden. I don't care how much you love the game or not, your expectations are already low. So I'm playing the game, I'm like, all right, there's not much to it and stuff. All right, okay, it's cool, whatever. I was like, man, okay. Like I said earlier, I'm trying out these routes with the receiver and stuff. Oh, look, computer still responds the same way. I'm wide the fuck open. I did a little drag route, little wires from the slot, wide receiver running across the field. Oh, look, wide the fuck open. Because why not? Because why would anyone guard him? Makes no sense. Oh, look, I blitzed. Oh, look, no one bothered to pick me up at all. You have two linemen blocking one of these defensive linemen. Here I am just running down the middle. Great AI. Great. It's so fantastic. Whatever, man. And then I see they put in, you could have your own you have 4 options for how you want to celebrate after every play. Like, man, I don't care about celebrating after every play. Like, I want to play an actual football simulation because if you don't know, that's what they're advertising Madden as. Football simulation. You have arcade mode. You have football simulation mode when you do your franchise stuff like that, and then you have your competitive mode when you play online and head-to-head matchups and tournaments on your console or on your PC or whatever. So I just don't understand. It's like, I keep saying, I shouldn't say I don't understand. I understand. But come on, man. Come on, man. We caught on to the game. We caught on. Like, hey, we know. We know you're the only football game in town. But all we're asking for is you to try to put some type of decent effort. We know you're going to make your revenue. We know you're going to make your money through microtransactions. All we're asking for is a little bit of effort. Because you had effort before in past decades. I just want the same effort now. That's it. I'm looking at how detailed other games are And even when they fall off a little bit, they come back. I'm looking at how everybody has their reactions on Twitter and social media and stuff, and then you have these developments where the game developers and stuff and EA suits and stuff, the CEOs, and then all their marketing, everybody's engagement with, and they're on Reddit and stuff, and they're like, hey, we appreciate the feedback, we got this going, we're gonna do this going. You sell us all this shit every year, and then when we go play it, the shit is trash. Like that's annoying. There's no player introduction. There's no simulation. I know how the Bucks run out into the field. I'm a season ticket holder. I've been to the fucking games. You're not even trying at all to replicate how they run out into the game. You're showing me something that is not in real life, which I know you can do. I know other developers, publishers like 2K can do. Why are you not doing it? Why are you selling me this? This is not, if this is a simulation. EA Sports motto is, if it's in the game, it's in the game. If it's in the game in real life, we're gonna do our best to make sure it's in the game in this video game. But they're not even close. I just told you how back in like when I was a kid, so it was like 2000, early 2000, I'm playing Madden, and you can do franchise mode, and you try to figure out how much the popcorn and soda and beer and stuff costs at your stadium when you run your franchise. That's just not in the game now. It's not in the game. And people are pointing these things out. They're pointing these things out. They're letting EA know, like, hey, you're lying to everybody. We are tired. And these just regular people, man. If you haven't noticed, there's always an insult to when the regular person who takes the time to do their own research, to investigate, to do their own critical thinking, they get labeled all these different negative terms. Why? This person is just frustrated because they're tired of the lies. They're tired of the questions not being answered. They're putting their time and money into something. They just want to know what they're putting their time, why they're not getting their money's worth. These games are $60, not including tax. The technology is better. The graphics is better. You have the better capabilities, yet you're not trying to offer me a decent product. That's not good business. That's not a good business transaction. If it was a drug deal, well, I think it was Aziz Ansari. He said one time when it was like, this was a drug deal, you'd have got shot. This is bad. Like, this shit is bad, bro. Like, you can't sell me, so you can't sell me a fucking weed. You can't sell me cocaine that's laced with not fentanyl, whatever. Actually, you can go into drug shit like that anyways. But you know what I mean. Like, you can't, don't try to cut the product, man. And that's what you do in every part of business. Don't try to cut the product, man. Don't try to cut the product so you can make more money. You trying to cut your production value, your expenses into the production value and stuff. Nah, man. Give me a decent product. You're gonna make millions regardless. Regardless of what I'm talking about, these companies still make millions. As opposed they want to make billions, they're still gonna make millions. Hell, they're still gonna make billions. They're making billions. If they make one less billion than before, they're still making billions, man. That's the problem. Remember Jeff Bezos earlier this year? We was talking about how his wife had billions of dollars from the divorce and everything. It's amazing how Jeff Bezos. I just seen a Forbes article the other day. No, this morning. Jeff Bezos is the first person to reach the 200 billion net worth mark, or not net. Was it net worth? Whatever. First person to reach 200 billion. Wait a minute. Didn't y'all just say that he lost a shitload of money from his wife and stuff? He had no problem making that shit back. Man. Every time there's a disaster or a pandemic or anything, somebody's always coming out richer. And it's funny how the richer just keep getting richer and richer and richer. Meanwhile, the regular people, they'll trust me, there's still regular people that get rich. There's a reason why you just don't hear about them. Only time you hear about the regular person getting rich is when what? They win the lottery. 2017. In 2017, I made a small couple $1,000 profit on cryptocurrency off of Litecoin. I'm pretty sure I know that there's people that made thousands, if not millions, off of Bitcoin getting up to $20,000 in end of 2017. The bull run was from late November to mid December, maybe end of December of 2017. I was waking up every day like, haha, look at this money I'm making. Oh my God, this shit is easy. And just a regular person is now catching on to that. And that's just cryptocurrency. So, but we don't talk about that. They're not going to tell you that people have made millions of dollars off Bitcoin that year. And if I did what I needed to do, I would have been that person that made millions of dollars off Bitcoin that year. And guess what? You wouldn't know. There's what, like 30-some million plus millionaires in the world that you don't even know about. Actually, I want to look that up real quick. I've been using DuckDuckGo. And because they're all more about privacy and stuff, whatever, when you look up things. Damn, I can't even find just a certain article. It's almost like nobody really wants to talk about it. It might be something that I'll have to just say later or whatever. I don't know. I remember I read something before, something about this like 30-some million millionaires, but I have a hard time like, damn, did I remember that number correctly? Because that sounds like a lot. And it's hard for me to wrap my brain around because I've been told that they make you feel like there's only a select few people that are millionaires. But I mean, you can look around your own city and stuff and know that there's somebody a millionaire. I live in Lakeland. They're selling a house that's $1 million. Somebody can afford to buy that house. There's a reason why. I think I'm on Kiplinger.com. It says how many millionaires are in the U.S. Tracking effects. So it says Phoenix MI is tracking the effects of the coronavirus pandemic, which could make for a very different landscape going forward. But last year, at least, the good times continue to roll. Indeed, a record 6.71% are 8,386,580,000 or 508,000 out of 125,018,808 total U.S. households can now claim millionaire status. That's up 6.21% in 2018 and just 5.81% in 2017. So that's just the U.S. population. So it must have been what I was thinking, 36 million. Yeah, 36 million millionaires around the world. There's 8 million millionaires in the U.S. 8 million millionaires in the U.S. There's more millionaires in the U.S. than there are people with than there are cases of the coronavirus or COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2, wherever the fuck. And I'm just, because that's the only number I could put off right off the top of my head that I know I had looked up the statistics to, whatever, the other day. So just to put that in context, not to talk about the virus or anything, because I'm tired of that shit. Just to put that into context, though. 8 million. There's more millionaires than there are, what, Native Americans? I don't think there's that many Native Americans. I'm trying to think of another statistical number that I know off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, it's just to put all this into context. There's things that we don't really discuss. There's things that we don't really talk about. Hell, my brain's fucked. I forgot what whole point I was making. That sucks. But I'm pretty sure y'all understand what I'm talking about. It's just a real interesting to me that to know that these companies make so much money that as a regular day customer, you spend $60. You just want to know you're having a decent product. You're not asking for the best. You know you're not gonna get the best. You understand business. You understand marketing. You understand that they need to in turn make a profit. You understand that they want to make a new game every year. Because also, if your argument is, oh, go back and play the old games, they shut down the service on those old games. So you can't obviously you can't play them online and stuff. And a lot of times you have to be access to EA's online servers to even play the game. Some of the games you can't really even play offline. And you will say, oh, well, no, they shouldn't do that. Now everybody has internet. But for the most part, if we're in a first world country, a lot of people have internet. They have gaming. Hell, I don't even buy physical games. I only download them. I haven't bought a physical game in years. I don't remember the last time I actually bought a physical game for myself. Now, I bought a physical game for my son for his Nintendo Switch. And that was it. And what he does, he downloads Fortnite on it and plays it. But it's really interesting. And even on Nintendo Switch, it's hard for him to play games offline because even the games I download for free, you still have to be connected to the internet to play. So when he's sitting in the car, he only has one game that he can play. It's a physical game that I bought. Because even the games that are free on there, you have to be connected to the internet, even though they're not multiplayer or online game. So it just goes to business, man. It just goes to business. I was talking about the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and investing and stuff. All these things are connected. All these things are connected. We talk about, I was talking earlier about, well, let me finish about I know I'm all over the place. This is how my brain works. I apologize. So with the NBA, with the Madden NFL, me playing the demo and stuff, as I went to go finish the demo, because I had a point where I was like, okay, I'm really had enough of this shit. Like, you're not even trying. It's clear you're not trying. I know you're not trying. That's why I didn't play last year. And I still see the same thing. And I was like, all right, well, they have a new game mode called the Yard. So I was like, okay, well, let me go play the Yard. Let me try this shit out. Once again, low expectations. Because they're trying to sell me something new, even though I'm old enough. I remember playing NBA Street. So don't act like this is something new. I remember playing NFL Blitz. So don't act like it's something new. So you're trying to sell me an arcade game mode, even though you already have an arcade game mode in your game. You're trying to sell me another arcade game mode. And you're like, okay, that's $60. You get a lot of different game modes. But within this arcade game mode, the Yard, they're selling skins. They're selling helmets. They're selling different pads. They're selling shorts. One is the Yard, so I don't know. It was supposed to be backyard football. I don't know who plays backyard football with shoulder pads, a helmet, and basketball shorts. I'm pretty sure that's off-season training, but whatever. Pretty sure that's training camp attire. I've been to Bucks training camp. That's exactly what they do. That's not backyard football. But whatever. Okay. You're selling mouthpieces. Oh, you can have these custom, or you can have these different design mouthpieces, even though you can't have these mouthpieces in the regular game when you play franchise mode, or you play quick play, or play now, or online. Obviously not online, but even franchise online mode, you can't have these mouthpieces, but they're in this mode of the game where they're selling it to you. Because Catch 22, these things are available at an additional price. From a business standpoint, I mean, that's great marketing because you understand the psychology of your customer and you're trying to get money. You're also trying to see if you can get away with this shit too. Hey, will people buy it? Let's see if people buy it or not. Oh shit, people are gonna buy it? Fuck it, let's keep doing it, man. And you imagine their boardroom meetings like, hey, we're gonna do this new game mode, and then someone is like, okay, how can we monetize this though? And the product developer is like, well, I mean, do we really need to monetize this? I mean, we're already making tons of money from this. Can we just have this little fun game mode? Like, we gotta do something to get these customers coming back because there's a lot of criticism about this game. And there's probably some board executive or somebody else, an EA Sports or EA headquarters stuff is like, nah, let's see how much we can make out of this game mode too. Let's sell them these mouthpieces. Let's see if they can buy this stuff. Let's do this. But as I'm playing this, I'm like, okay, this game mode seems kind of different or whatever. And it's like, oh, it's 6-on-6 football. But here's the catch: if you play online, it's not full 6-on-6. So I just talked about NBA 2K. They have their my part, their multiplayer mode and stuff, where you can play full 5-on-5. That's 10 full actual human beings, not AIs, not bots, not software, not computers, whatever. You're playing against another actual human being. But here, NFL, or Madden, the yard mode is 3-on-3, even though it's 6-on-6. So you only have 3 humans and 3 computer on each team at the most. Because they said, fuck, I don't even know what they said. I forget what the reason was for. I forget what the reason was for. I guess they don't want nobody to tank the game or ever just act stupid on there. But I mean, that's just part of gaming. That's something that goes on into it. But I go play the game. And I'm playing the game. I'm like, okay, this is whatever. First off, my first thought was, they're calling this the yard. This is backyard football. Why do I feel like I'm deployed playing this? Why do I feel like I'm in a deployed environment? That's all I could think about. I'm looking in the background. I'm like, damn, am I deployed? The fuck? Am I in Afghanistan or something? Fucking playing football? The fuck? Does this make sense? Later, I see that the background, the scenario, the scene and stuff, the area that they were playing was supposed to be a FOB, which is a forward operating base. I don't know why that's in the game. I don't understand that at all. I mean, as I try to wrap my head around it now, I get their point, what they're trying to do. But if I'm playing a demo, like if we were talking about the yard, it's supposed to be backyard football. I actually wanted it to be backyard football, like put it in a neighborhood or something, or put it in a park within a city or something like that. Something that makes me feel like, yeah, we're just going out. It's Saturday, it's Sunday afternoon, or how about, going out early Sunday morning or something before the NFL games kick off or whatever. We're just going to play a couple of games of football, whether it's flag football, whether it's touch football, whether it's tackle, touch, whatever the fuck you doing, regular backyard football. I go play football, I go throw the football around with my kids at the park. It's at a park. It's something like that. You're talking about backyard football, let me play. Why am I playing on a FOB? But whatever. I'll give you that. Next thing you know, I'm playing the game. I played the first one. I'm like, okay, it's alright. It's kind of, I feel like there's no real defense, but I mean, I can tell it's arcade mode, so it's going to really be offense heavy and stuff. I'm like, okay. I get the jersey stuff. I really don't understand who's on whose team for the most part, but I'm like, whatever. Just press the icon. Doesn't fucking matter. Throw the football around. I'm like, okay, you can do a little fancy passes. You can do some throw it behind the back. You can do these different moves where I'm like, okay, this is kind of cheesy. I mean, I feel like playing NFL Blitz is different, but whatever. NFL Street was different, but whatever. It's a little cheesy, but okay, I'm cool with it. And then, because really, I should be looking back and thinking those games are cheesy. Like, man, this game wasn't really that good because these games are way better. But not. Gamers looking back and like, damn, what the fuck? Why are these games in the past 2 decades ago better than what the fuck I'm playing now? Or a decade plus ago, and it's way better than what I'm playing now. And then as I'm playing the game, I'm like, well, man, something just ain't right about this. I'm like, I get it's backyard football. There's no commentary, but like, why am I? I'm not even hearing no sounds. I can hear people running for whatever fucking reason. I don't know why I need to hear people running. Like I'm playing a first-person shooter, and I need to hear the footsteps. But I hear people running in the game, and then I'm thinking, why I don't hear no, like if I'm playing my part or I'm playing the rec on NBA 2K, I can hear the different, audio. Um, from perceived players on the court or whatever, just saying stuff like, "Oh man, and one or foul or no, get this out of here" or something. Like there's no trash or there's no nothing going on. There's no extra audio. I don't know. There's not in the game. I don't know. It's just because of the game I was playing. But all I heard was the music and the soundtrack. And once again, all I was listening to was rap songs. And I'm not even in the mood to listen. I don't even listen to rap right now, actually. And if I do, it's very selective. So I don't follow. I mean, I still follow rap music and rap artists because I love rap, but I don't listen to it. Like Nas is one of my favorite rappers ever. I don't listen to him. He just had a new album come out. I don't want to listen to it because I listened to a little bit of it and I didn't like what he was talking about. Eminem came out with a new song with Kid Cudi. Eminem's my favorite rap artist all time. I'm okay with Kid Cudi too. I was like, oh, I think it would be a good collaboration. One of my friends sent me a song. I hearted it. I loved it. I'm like, okay, yeah. I loved it before I even listened to it because just that whole collaboration alone, I know it was going to sound different. It was going to sound cool. It was going to sound good. And I'm listening to that, and I'm like, man. Then he says something. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you also pushing a certain message towards me? But I haven't really listened to certain shit. But here I am listening to nonstop rap. Like nobody else plays this game other than people that listen to rap or something. I get rap is popular culture right now, which is crazy because it wasn't like that in the 90s, but whatever. Times have changed, I guess you want to call it, or they're just trying to feed me something else. That's all it is. Wherever we think is popular, that's the distraction we get fed. But that's in the game. That's all I hear in the audio in the game. I'm like, come on, man. Next thing you know, I play another game. All of a sudden, the players are literally missing. I posted up on my Twitter. I did a recording up because I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, EA. Come on, man. People are literally missing from the video game. I'm playing 6-on-6 DR football in their game mode. 6-on-6. I see 3 people. I'm not online because I can't play multiplayer online because I have to level up to I have to play X amount of games before I'm allowed to open up the world to play online multiplayer. I'm playing this shit, and that's what it is, shit. Because I'm hiking the ball, there's no center. There's no center. If you ever play flag football or anything, you know how it's set up where somebody is a center, but everyone is a potential receiver. There's no center. Just nothing there. And next thing I know, the ball is not even hiked to me like at least the center was there. No, the ball just like comes floating out of the fucking air from behind the defenders. The ball just comes floating out of the fucking air into my hands as the quarterback. And then I'm like, well, fuck. Well, maybe they're still moving around. Cause I can see the routes of the supposed offensive players that's on my team that are not there. So maybe I'm just not seeing them, but they're still there. Nope. Went to throw the ball, threw the ball like no one was fucking there. Didn't even go past the line of scrimmage. If you don't believe, you can't visualize what I'm talking about. I think you go to my Twitter. I think it's D_Jack22. Or fuck it, just look it up on YouTube or something. Search it on internet. Don't use Google. Search it on DuckDuckGo or something like that. Protect your privacy. Go search it somewhere. Look that shit up. I mean, you use Google when you use YouTube, but whatever. Look on Twitter. Do something, man. If you can't visualize what I'm talking about, that's bad. That's bad. You make billions of dollars in revenue. You make billions of dollars. And you make, or let's hell, I could be wrong. I'm looking up the stats now, or the amount of money. Okay. Statista.com. So they had a EA, well, EA Electronic Arts, the parent company, EA Sports, whatever, had a net revenue of, they got in the millions, so 5,537 million. Yeah, that's the fuck. They got a net revenue for 2020. Huh. Anyways, so EA Sports, the parent company, is making, or EA, the parent company, Electronic Arts, is making billions of dollars. And then EA Sports itself is making, if not billions, millions of dollars, because most of the games are, I believe, are just EA Sports anyways. But you're making all this money, and damn, I'm looking up EA Sports Wikipedia page. You at least think usually they have the products: FIFA, Madden NFL, NBA Live, NHL, UFC. Because Madden NBA Live doesn't exist yet, they shelved it basically. But usually when you look up a company or something, they tell you the revenue, how much they make and stuff. But whatever, you get the point. You're making all this amount of money, and yet here I am playing a demo, and the demo is fucked up. And not only were the players missing, I tried to play it through, hoping it was just a glitch and it'll fix itself. Because error correcting, if you know anything about coding or whatever, and processes and all that shit, you got error correcting code. Or not error correcting memory, I'm sorry, RAM. You got error correcting. So it ones and zeros. If something's messed up, it'll reset itself and catch up. That's why when anytime with technology, if you unplug and plug it back in, it literally resets itself. And that's majority of the time. That's how you fix shit. And so I'm like, okay, I'll give it time. Maybe it'll work out. Psych. I just kept playing. And I'm like, huh, wow. Next thing you know, I couldn't move my player at all. Cause I couldn't, since I was on offense, couldn't go nowhere, couldn't pass the ball to only but 2 or 3 people. So I was like, oh, well, these people ain't open nothing. Then I was like, you know what? Let's just see how much this game does. Let's see if it fixes something. And next thing you know, I'm on defense. And I have a video of this too on my Twitter account. I'm on defense and I'm moving the player around. Nothing. Nothing. I can't even move my fucking player on the game. It's just stuck. It's just moving. And if it is moving, it's moving by itself. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. This is unacceptable. This is bullshit. This shouldn't happen. This shouldn't happen. Because even if it does happen, we're talking about a low percentage of it happening. There's certain aspects when you can accept a certain amount of percentage of error or mistakes, and depending on what the mistakes are. We were talking about earlier with Tesla Y. There are alignment issues, certain things where there was mistakes. It doesn't affect the functionality of the vehicle, but those are cosmetic issues which you want to iron out those wrinkles because people are paying $50,000+ for this vehicle. So it's something that you need to help your customers. Even though it doesn't affect the functionality of the actual vehicle, you still want to pretend or try your best to look like you're giving out a decent product. Oh no, not a decent product. A product worth the $50,000 or amount of money that you're paying. So you can interpret data and percentages all you want differently, but some things you just can't accept, or some things you shouldn't accept as a consumer. Let me put that into perspective. Some things you couldn't accept as a consumer. Like I said, if I'm a consumer of a vaccine and it's not that effective, how am I able to? Why would I buy this or purchase this product if you're not giving me a full product that is worthy of me purchasing it? Now I'm gonna try to buy it at a lower price because this is not what I thought it was gonna be. Because I'm saying vaccines because I'm thinking a product right off the back of my head or right off the top of my head. So to try to use some type of comparison because a lot of correspondence, nothing really makes sense until you compare it to something else. Have you ever noticed that? Nothing really makes sense until you compare it to something else. Because it seems like we can't understand something unless we compare it to something else. We don't know what small is unless we understand what something big is. But I'm playing the game, and after that moment, I'm like, I'm done. I uninstalled the shit. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. But me as a consumer is like, you know what? I had enough, and I had enough last year, and this year just tops it off. Because even when it goes to the next generation console, and I already have my money set aside. I had my money set aside years ago, anyways, for to purchase a new console. So I'm not concerned about the money. I've already been saving up for it years ago. My thing is, I know I'm not gonna buy Madden football. Period. Unless I see some huge, big leap in their game for the next generation of consoles for coming by Xbox Series X. Unless I see something like that, I'm not buying it. And I doubt that I will see that. And even if I do see it, I'm still gonna have my reservations because I'm like, you know what? I'm not okay. This is this year. Let's see what the fuck you do next year. Because they usually cut off the game servers at like 2 years old or whatever, and so I can still buy. I can play this year's Madden next year, even though they'll still keep the game servers up or whatever. But what this all comes down to is understanding economics, finance, business, the shit they don't teach you in school. Understanding how to be a smart consumer. Understanding that you as a consumer have the power and have the influence because nothing fucking matters. All these corporations, all these products, all these businesses stuff. If you don't buy the shit, they go out of business. I mean, for the most part, because today, Federal Reserve President Jerome Powell is supposed to talk about the inflation and stuff and all this other shit. Nobody, apparently, you can just print out as much money as you want to the end of time because there's nothing backing it. And eventually, we're gonna have inflation and hyperinflation. If you don't know, look up Venezuela. Look up what they're doing with their money. Hyperinflation, money does not mean shit. There's a reason why they don't really talk about it. They don't talk about inflation. They don't talk about economics in school. I'm talking about middle school, high school, hell, elementary. They tell you how to count money, but they don't understand. They don't tell you how to make money. They don't tell you how to invest. I learned how to do accounting and certain things, and I think the first time I learned stocks and learned how to read stocks or whatever was in high school because I was part of the business program at the high school I was going to. And that when I first got the idea to buy stocks, and I was 17, 18. And I fucked up then because I knew to buy stocks then and I didn't. I even set myself up with I even got on E-Trade. I remember on my me and my parents' house and stuff and getting on a computer, the slow ass internet. We talking about 2004, 2005. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to get on E-Trade. I need to figure out how to buy these stocks and stuff. But I also remember feeling resistance and being frustrated because I couldn't understand what was going on because I didn't want to take the time and patience to really put energy and effort to like, hey, I don't understand what's going on. Let me educate myself a little bit more, even though the answers is right in front of my fucking face because it's telling you how to trade on E-Trade and stuff. It's telling you what to do, telling you how to read stock, and I already had known a little bit. But because I didn't want to put the time, energy, and effort, so that's all my fault. Because I could have been a millionaire already by now. Because I knew to invest in Google. I knew to invest in Disney. I knew to invest in Walmart. I knew to invest in Netflix. I knew to invest in Amazon. This is 2006, 2007. I knew back then to get these things. I knew to get Bitcoin. I knew about Silk Road. I understood that the FBI had seized all of the Bitcoin from Silk Road, and they were at one point the leaders in Bitcoin because they had like 2 point something million Bitcoin. I knew to try to figure out how to buy Bitcoin, but I didn't go through with it. I didn't go through with it. I think about my kids and how financially well we could have been already by now. I understood it and I didn't do it. How many times have you sat and looked at a stock or you read an article about a stock or an investment opportunity or something and you was like, I don't understand it. It's unacceptable. Hold yourself to a higher expectation. That's something I learned myself. I always hold myself to high expectations, but even times when I didn't, I paid the price for it. Not the price for it. I paid that. I learned my lesson. I learned my what I knew. I should have. I should have had higher expectations of myself. That's why when I come across something and I don't know it, I don't understand it, I take the time to find all different avenues of information and perspective, gather as much knowledge as I can to make sure I have a decent understanding where I can explain it the way I'm explaining things now. Because I can explain it because I know I understand it. And if I can't explain it, I need to find how to explain it in a way that people can understand it. Because what's the point of having knowledge if you can't pass it on to something? There's no point. There's times when I'm talking to my nieces or my kids or my little brother, and I'm like, hey, I was like, hey, I can't explain what I'm talking about. And I look at them, I'm like, it's my fault that I can't explain what I'm talking about. I apologize because I'm not doing a good job of explaining it. And I'm not using the correct words. Sometimes I can't rap. My brain just doesn't function. I can't think. But then I try my best to make sure that I come back later and explain it the way I want to, or explain it in a way that they can understand. Because as long as you can compare something, then you can help explain something. And a lot of times I have to find ways of different comparisons to, or you could say analogies or metaphors, whatever the case. I have to find some way to explain certain things. Yeah, I want to continue to do a better job of that. But all those different, now I remember the point I made earlier when I was talking about the Bitcoin stuff. All the different times, opportunities that we have that we really don't think about how you can invest it in a local business in your city, in your town, in your county. But you didn't. You didn't look into it because you're like, you know what? Nah, I don't really get this stuff or whatever. We all have felt like that. There's nothing wrong to feel like that. That's human nature. But the whole beauty of this human experience is for us to grow and learn. So the next time you come across a wall and you're like, man, I don't know what this is, just think about, okay, well, let me just keep at it until I understand what's going on. Because that's all it is. When we talk about learning, it's really just time, energy, effort. Because eventually you'll learn something, whether it take you a year or two or it takes you a week or two. Eventually you will learn it. It's just how committed are you to learning it? I couldn't understand how to buy Bitcoin. I looked it up for a couple of hours and I couldn't figure it out. So I got frustrated. I tried to come back maybe a year later too, and then I didn't go much into it. When it came time to buy those stocks for Amazon, for Netflix, like I was in Guam and Netflix was exploding then. That was back when Netflix was just only like, it was like GameFly. When you were just giving out, or you'll buy, or you pay for a monthly subscription. They'll send you a video that you have in your wish list, or a disc, or CD, a DVD. I mean, and that you have in your wish list. How much fucking technology has changed just from between now and 2006? I can't even think of which fucking terminology to use. CD, DVD, Blu-ray, and it's all the same thing. It just one has more memory than the other. That's it. It's all the same thing. Just one just has more memory than the other, and they all do the same thing: store memory, store data, store ones and zeros. They all do the same thing, just in different forms. But here I am, like I'm saying, like man, maybe I didn't know this, or I should have did that. But what it really came down to is that I didn't think that I would be able to actually make money like this, because you never hear of the regular person actually making money like this. Now to bring my point back around, I was talking about Bitcoin earlier. Now I remember exactly what I was talking about. And when I was talking about this, all these millionaires, let's go with the stat as I told you earlier. There's 8 million millionaires in the United States as of this year that you don't even know exist. So that means regular people are becoming millionaires. And see, what I was talking about Bitcoin and stocks and stuff, part of me then was thinking, yeah, can I really actually make some money off of this? Because regular people like me don't make money. I'm in the Air Force. I'm working hard and stuff. And regular people like us don't make money. They told us to, make sure you save your money. Why are they telling the average worker, the average person, make sure you save your money? But the people that make money, the wealthy people, don't save their money. They invest their money. See where the disconnect is here? Why you have part of society being told, make sure you save your money and spend it wisely on whatever the things that you want to do or whatever. That's probably the best advice you get. But then you have another part of society that's saying, hey, make sure you invest your money. You can spend it, but also invest in it, because when you invest your money makes more money and your money works for you. And we could talk about different wealth opportunities, or you could talk about, hey, well, the rich people will stay rich because they know these things. But like I said, you have the internet. You can go research these things. You can go watch these videos. Hell, even before the internet, scratch the internet, because technology has always been around us. Your pencil is a technology. Your pen is a technology. It's a tool that we use to make things easier for us. I don't want to sit on the fucking ground, so I sit in the chair, on my couch. Technology. You look up the definition of technology, and it's kind of odd because you can't really. It's almost like they can't really put into words, but they can. You just don't. It's just try to not. They always try to make things seem more complicated than what it is. So even before the internet, what you have? Before Wikipedia, we had the encyclopedia, right? You have the encyclopedia in your household. You have the World Encyclopedia. You have Britannica, wherever the fuck they have over there. You always had a globe in your classroom telling you where the parts around the world, different countries around the world and stuff. You always had something, reference information. Go to your local library, your school library growing up. How many times you go to your school library growing up and the books you were trying to read was really just things that you were interested in? But most of the times, things that you're interested in were just things that will keep you entertained. Because the real shit that you need to be reading is always what? Boring as fuck. It's always dragged out, wordy for no fucking reason. No fucking reason. I was thinking about I'm in statistics now, but last month I was taking college algebra too. And I'm just like, why is everything worded like this? Why is it so wordy? Get to the fucking point. Explain what the fuck you need to explain with the least amount of words possible, because we know how people are. You don't need to be wordy when you're trying to explain something. That's what they tell you. When you're in a business and you're in a company and you work somewhere and you're a supervisor or you're a manager and you have to explain things, they say, hey, get to the fucking point. Don't waste our time saying all these fucking words that we don't give a shit about. Get to the fucking point. Yet when you read a book or you read something, or you read an article, you're trying to understand something, there's all these extra fluff words. Bro, get to the fucking point. These are distractions. These are things that deter you because you're like, you know what, I want to learn this, but goddamn, why is shit so annoying? See, bam, you're already hitting your resistance, because everyone has a certain level of resistance where they're like, fuck, I don't care anymore. I don't want to deal with this. No matter how you look at it, there's always, through your perspective of your consciousness, your reality, we all have our own personal level of resistance. We all know at some point in time in our lifetime that we done heard something and we done heard it and or we done did this or we've been told this or wherever the case may be. And at some point in time we hit our low resistance. We're like, hey, you know what? What the fuck are you talking about? We all have that person in our life that lies so much. We were like, damn, what the fuck is this motherfucker always lying for? Like, because you keep paying attention, like, damn, what the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck is he talking about? Wait, what the fuck are you talking about, man? You all have your level of resistance. Like, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm tired of this shit, man. What's going on? Why are you saying this? How many times have you been in school growing up and you're like, hey, what the fuck? Like, why you keep saying Christopher Columbus discovered America? I love using this reference because it states the most obvious. How often we just don't, we ignore the obvious. Growing up, at one point in your time, in your life, you had to be like, how did Christopher Columbus discover America if he got here, there was already somebody here? And then you learn even more, and you're like, wait a minute, Christopher Columbus never came to actual what we call America today. What the fuck are you talking about? It's just those simple things that is in our life. So as I say, there's 8 million millionaires in the United States. And when you think of a millionaire, as the second I told you millionaire, what did you picture first? Was it not a celebrity? Was it not an athlete? Was it not an actor? Was it not someone that's in the spotlight? You weren't thinking of Warren Buffett. You weren't thinking of Robert Kiyosaki. You weren't thinking of the person that owns your public, not Publix, but your local grocery supply chain. You weren't thinking about the person that owns the plaza of which you go shopping at. You weren't thinking about that either, huh? You weren't thinking about the person you see these big houses and stuff. You weren't thinking about them being millionaires. No, the first thing you thought of was someone that's popular, that's someone that's in front of your face, that's someone that's on TV, even though you know you have been around millionaires in your life. Because we have been shown, if you want to be a millionaire, you got what? Hell, if we want to play, just, you know what, let's do this scenario. We want to play race all the time, black and white and all shit. Okay, I'm a young black male. I'm growing up in the area of the city that I grew up in around other young black males. I'm listening to rap music. What they tell me? Oh, we ain't making it out of here unless we dribble a ball, play sports. I need to play football. I need to play basketball. I'm not going to college unless I do these things. I'm not going to make millions of dollars unless I become a rapper. Unless I do something in the entertainment industry, I'm not finna make money. I can go to work and get a job, but we know you go to work, you get a job, you ain't really making no money. You busting your ass all your life. I ain't about that life. Oh, you know what? Fuck this. I want this quick, fast money. I'm going to get these drugs. I'm going to sell these drugs. See how you easily just influence people to lower their own expectations, to no longer strive for what they think they should strive for, which is the absolute best that they know that they can accomplish, but you're already lowering their expectations because through the images that you tell them, that you show them on TV, look, here's Jay-Z. Look what he's doing. He's talking about drugs, women, and violence. He's a millionaire, though. Actually, you know, if you talk about drugs, women, and violence, you might become a millionaire, too. Look, he's entertaining people. He sold drugs. Look at that. He got money and stuff. And now he comes out and telling, oh, you know, yeah, y'all can invest your money and stuff over there, blah, blah. Yeah, because now you're saying something different. But you always been investing your money. He's always been investing his money. And for those hardcore Jay-Z fans, I know you can think of different songs, whatever and stuff, but what, does everybody listen to Jay-Z like that? We know who Jay-Z is. You know who Jay-Z is. You probably can't think of a Jay-Z album, but you probably sung one of his songs before. The most popular songs ain't talking about investing. So let's say you want to play the race card, we want to talk about that stuff, then look how easily you can manipulate people. I say that because as a kid, I didn't like hearing those songs. As a kid, I didn't like Lil Wayne. I didn't like the Hot Boys. I didn't want to listen to 500 Degrees. I knew about them. Other people listened to them, but I liked Eminem. I liked Eminem because of Rage. Because I felt that Rage Against Machines. It's a group. But I felt that rage that I'm pissed off about things. I felt that, oh, you know, I don't fit in. Look at this motherfucker. He's white. He's rapping. He don't fit in either. Not at all. That's my connection to him. I just don't feel like I fit in. And, oh, he's saying shit I think is funny. Oh, you're not talking about cars, material things all the time. I don't want to hear about cars. I want to hear how you driving a Bentley with some rims on it. I don't care. I like 50 Cent. But at some point, I'm like, you know, I don't care if you call me a window shopper. What is his movie? Get Rich or Die Trying. That's mentality that is being pushed into people's head because they don't tell you that there are black people that make millions of dollars that didn't do those things. There are black people that found a way to go to school despite limited opportunities. In fact, is it limited opportunities or they just don't tell you that there's opportunities? So I don't come from that family background. I come from a family that worked hard through generations. I come from a family where my parents didn't lower their expectations of me. Their expectations were, hey, you get out, you get a job, you do what you need to do. You're smart. You don't get the best grades, but we know you're smart. You don't get the best grade because we know you don't like doing the homework. But hey, you'll figure it out. There's no money for you for scholarship. You better figure it out. And I'm listening to them, and I understand, and I know what I'm capable of. I know I'm more capable of than what they think I was capable of. And I talk about that with my parents now. Like, I bet y'all, I was like, I know y'all thought I was never paying attention, y'all. I was always paying attention. I was always listening. There never was a moment I was not listening to my parents, what they were talking about. I just knew my expectations, and I knew I would achieve those expectations when I got my ass up and got motivated. When I finally had enough. When I finally said, okay, you know what? I reached my level of resistance. Let me really focus on what I know I need to focus on. So you got to hold yourself accountable too. Because even with the manipulation, even with the stuff, even there's no opportunity stuff, you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to strive to get what you want to get. To do what you want to do. So it puts back into the power that you have, even as a consumer. The power you have when you go buy video games. If you think the game is not good and it's not worth your money, you don't buy it. You don't buy it. That willpower to say, you know what? I'm just not going to play it. Because I have willpower to say I'm not going to play it. I also have something else. I'm open to trying new things. I'm open to playing different types of video games. I want to play sports games. You know what? Let me try playing this UFC game. I have this EA membership. It's included. I pay this money, so now I can pay for this. So this game is free. Let me try this game. Yeah, I kind of like this. Yeah, you know what? I don't really like this anymore. What else can I play? Well, let me try this game because it's also part of my EA membership. It's free because I understood what I was paying for when I paid for this. I knew there's a ton of games that I can try. And even if I spend just a couple hours on each one of these games, I'll still get my money's worth. It's about knowing the power and the options and what you can do as a consumer. It's about knowing the powers and the control that you have and the options that you have as a regular day person to know where the opportunities are at and how to access those opportunities. Whether you read in a book, whether you hop on the internet, whether you go to a seminar, or whether you listen to anybody. No matter what you do, you can pull information from anything. Even if sometimes you feel like, you know what, that was a ripoff. You can still find something because now you know for a fact it's a ripoff. I went to a seminar and then I had reservations anyway. And then my mom and then my friend was talking about it too because I was talking about going with them. And it was like, oh, you know, maybe this and that and this and that. And I was like, okay, cool. I already had reservations anyways. I was gonna go just see what information I can get, but because I kept doing more research, I ended up finding a video online that had a presentation, a little bit of it, and I watched it. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Because really the information that they're giving, I can find it myself. It might take a little bit longer, it might be more scattered out, but within time, I'll find out what I'm looking for. I had to do research into how I can even invest into a company because before 2017, you had to have a certain level of income to invest. And I didn't realize that. I was just trying to find ways I can invest into a company. Didn't even realize that it wasn't until that year. Before then, you could probably just buy stocks and that's it. There's ways, there's opportunities, but you gotta understand what those ways and those opportunities are. You as a consumer, you as a potential investor. 8 million millionaires in America right now. Remember we talk about, oh man, the 99%, we're the 99%, oh the 1% of the world and stuff. 6% of U.S. population is millionaires. So that goes beyond the whole 1% perception that we had. Something I had to correct myself on too. I'm always making mistakes. I'm always getting things wrong, but I don't care because it's okay. When you get things wrong, when you make mistakes, when you only have one perspective, when you mess up, that's a chance for you to expand your awareness, to expand your knowledge, to expand your wisdom and understanding of something. Because wisdom and understanding are pretty much the same thing. But you get what I'm saying. But it takes you have to kind of go through these things. It's okay to be wrong. If you're wrong about something, that's fine. Because now you have a different idea of something, though. Just as long as you know you have a different perspective of something. Look at a different perspective. Because things are never just one way. We live in a duality world. Everything is either one or the other, but it's not. There's one end of a spectrum and then the other end of a spectrum, and then there's a shitload of things in between the middle. Color spectrum, light spectrum. You have the white side of the spectrum, which you could say positive, because we like to say white, light, brightness, positive. Then you have the dark side, the black side of the color, the light spectrum, black, negative, because we like to associate with that for a reason. But whatever, we like to associate with that. Now, where are all the colors in between? Remember your little acronym, Roy G. Biv. And that's just of the visible light spectrum that we see. All the different colors in between and stuff. And that's what it is. One side of the spectrum, other side of the spectrum, and all the different perspectives in between. You gotta keep your conscious awareness, or you have to expand your conscious awareness. You have to expand your awareness of your reality. I'm just gonna keep saying this again. 8 million millionaires. Hell, I'm saying it again just for myself. Like, the fuck, man? 8 million millionaires. If you could just be one of those 8 million people, 6% chance. No, just look at this. Take it this way. You have a 6% chance of becoming a millionaire. Aren't those odds better than what they tell you at the lottery? But yet, every time they talk about someone being a millionaire, they're talking about lottery winners. And now, how many of those lottery winners are part of that 8 million millionaires? Even smaller percentage, right? Probably, definitely smaller than 1%. Now, how many of those millionaires are inherited money? How many of those millionaires, because even if you get inherited money, if you don't do shit right, guess what? You will fuck around and spend that shit, and you will no longer be a millionaire. So no matter how you acquire it, no matter how you get it, no matter what the fuck happened, just as you can get it, you can fucking lose it. Just as easy. I remember people harping on Kylie Jenner, because she became a billionaire or close to a billionaire or whatever. And people are like, oh, well, she already had money and stuff. Doesn't matter. From a personal standpoint, if I already have money, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to try my best not to lose it. So I'm either going to maintain it or I'm going to make more of it. I mean, and then break it down how you want to explain it, because just because your parents have money, does that mean you have money? Because I have money and I share it with my kids. What did I say? I share it with my kids. I buy them things and stuff. But I also tell them, like, hey, this doesn't last forever. When you get older, I'm not going to be supporting you, because what's the fucking point of existing if you're not learning different things and having experiences? You get no growth if there's no mistakes. There's no negative in your life. You don't see the positive. How you know the positive if you don't know what negative is? These experiences. Embrace the mistakes. Embrace the fuck ups. Embrace all that shit. Because that's how you learn. You don't learn nothing if you know everything already. Hell, if hell even goes down to our body and our health. I think about myself, and I think about my health issues, and I think about the things I'm going through. And then I think about, hey, if I actually wasn't going through some of the stuff, would I even put this much emphasis on my health? Would I put this much emphasis on what I ingest? Would I put in my body? Probably not. Because even when I thought I was, I wasn't doing the best job I could have been. Until I started having these more medical issues. And I was like, oh shit, I really got to fucking pay attention to what the fuck I'm doing. Which in turn, cause and effect, now I'm ensuring that my kids are more healthier than what I ever would have been. Or will be. Because now I'm putting them on the right path. Because just being mindful of what you do. Be mindful of the moment. Be present in the moment. Understand what is going on. Learn from the past. Make a better future. But everything is in the now. That's all it is, people. That's all it is, man. That's all this shit is. Growth, experience, evolution. Not change. Change is different from evolution. Evolution, you evolve from what you already are. You become more what you already are. Change is you become something different. I'm not changing. I never changed. I've evolved. The shit I'm talking about now is still the same stuff I always talked about, but I have more of awareness and understanding of it. I've never been materialistic. That was even as a kid. And that goes from how I was raised too, because in my house, we weren't worried about material things like that. We took trips. And I don't come from a rich family. I come from hard workers. My parents working 10, 12-hour days. My dad getting off work, coming home, eating dinner for a little bit, then going back to work at a different job. My mom spending all day at work, coming home, fix me whatever she can for me and my sister so she can relax, get some rest to wake up and go back to work the next day. I rarely see my parents take a sick day growing up. And that's powerful right there. That's powerful because it shapes your mind. So I'm always blessed. I'm always feel so grateful and so much gratitude, even when I was a kid, from my parents, because I always listened to what they said. My dad used to be like, "Hey, look what's going on here. Look around. Some of your friends don't even have their fathers. You gotta be happy that you have a father." That sticks with me till this day, and I tell my son that. I tell my daughter that. My little brother, I stick that in his head too. Like, hey, you gotta be happy that you have these parents. You gotta be really fortunate and understand. Because that's one lesson that you don't have to necessarily learn the hard way. Be appreciative of the lessons that you don't have to learn the hard way. And if you have to learn lessons the hard way, that's just the way you learn. That's just part of your life. That's just your life. Because I talk about correspondence, the comparison, the universal law. But you don't have to compare your life to other people. You compare your life to yourself. To put things into perspective and understanding. Because all I gotta do is ask a simple, what would it be like if I didn't have both my parents in my life? What would it be like? And just that thought alone, I can play out the scenarios in my head. And right there, I'm using my own mental power through my own imagination to learn own life lessons through the own simulation that I created in my own head through these scenarios. You think that sounds crazy? What do you think we do when we do military exercises? Scenarios. Simulations. Asking yourself, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if that happens? How would I respond? Because even though in these simulations, a lot of times, majority of the time, the simulation is just all thought. Especially I know the Air Force. Yeah, I've been around Army training too, so some of their simulation is some of it is a little bit more real. You actually go through the motions, but you still it's all thought. Because really, if you gotta think about what you would do. Then the next thing is to do it physically, but it starts with a thought first. How would you do this? So I appreciate my parents for setting an example because they knew they had to work hard. Because I remember being made fun of, being called poor when I was a kid. And for some of my friends and family members that see what my parents' houses now, or what the things they have and things we've done, they're like, "Oh man, you guys are rich. You guys got money and stuff. You guys work hard or whatever, or you guys got this and that." It wasn't always like that. When I was a kid, we didn't have that much money, and my dad was in the military. We lived in Germany. Didn't have much money. People in the military didn't make that much money at all back then. Hell, when I first came in, my check was $400. So I know they weren't making shit. My check was $400 that first year. $400 checks, man. And then the next year it was like $200. It was like $700 checks. And when I say checks, I mean every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, $400. Then when I was like, "Oh shit, I'm balling, bro. Every 2 weeks, $700. What? I got money." Oh my god, because that's even this that's stereotype of people that are in the military as far as civilians when I was in and stuff, and I'm pretty sure it still goes on now. "Oh, you in the military, you got money, man. You get that nice check." Where? You can look up how much a military member makes. Me being a disabled veteran, you can look up how much I make. All my shit is public information. I'm not pulling in no fucking money, man. I'm a regular middle American person. Not making that much money at all. But it's how you spend it. It's how you have willpower. It's how you have control. And even if you didn't grow up with someone teaching these lessons, have accountability for yourself to learn these lessons one way or another. Where you have to go out and search for something, maybe some guidance, maybe some information, anything. So I think about when I was a kid and stuff, being in I was in middle school. Yeah, I was in middle school. I got made fun of saying that, "Oh man, Damien's broke. Oh well, you so poor, this and that." Because we're kids. That's what we did. We made fun of each other. I got made fun of for being too dark skinned from other black people. I got made fun of for being short. Got made fun of for being skinny. It's what happens. For some reason, human beings, we like to fucking make fun of each other. We like to cause emotional pain and abuse wherever to each other. We do it we do it if we just think it's funny. We do it for all types of reasons. This is society. This is society, though. This is shit you gotta learn. You gotta deal with. So as I was talking to my friends, started calling me poor and everything. I'm like, "Why y'all calling?" I asked them, like, "Hey, why y'all calling me poor?" Like that shit ain't even funny because it doesn't make sense. I was like, you can make fun of me about stuff that makes sense. Like if I mess up or something like that, but like, how y'all calling me poor? Like, y'all don't know. They were calling me poor because I was on free lunch. I got made fun of for being poor because I was on free lunch. And this wasn't from, if you want to go to race again, it wasn't from white kids. It was from black kids. My other black friends. Who weren't that well, weren't like they were well off either. Like it's not. In fact, we're kids. It's not like we knew what our parents' net worth were or was at the time. None of that shit. So it was pointless. But it makes you think about things. And I tell you this story because Next thing you know, the PT Cruiser that came out, my dad had just bought the PT Cruiser. He dropped me off one day at school, and everybody's like, "Oh, who car is that?" And I got out of the car, and then all of a sudden, everyone's perspective about me changed. Oh, Damien rich. Oh, he got that money. You see his dad car? Oh man, that car nice. He got the rims on it and stuff. Look at the chrome on it. Oh man, that's a nice car. They got money. They're rich. It's stupid. Stupidity. It's dumb shit. Means nothing. But I learned from it. Because all I could think of is, I know we don't have a lot of money. But I was like, you know what? You don't have to have a lot of money. You just have to understand what the fuck you're doing and how you're spending it. My mom has stocks. She worked at Publix. When you work at Publix, you have some of their stocks. So when she left Publix, she had some stocks. Helped out. Things like that, man. And that goes back. That goes back from, that goes decades back, generations back. When you working hard and stuff. Because if you worked hard, you had a okay life depending on how you spend your money. But these are life lessons that you gotta learn. You gotta understand who you are, what the power you have, what you will become, and understand the influence that you have on the world around you. Because even though you might think it's insignificant, there's still some significance to it. So you're a consumer. You have power. You like, hey, especially now, because you hop on Twitter in an instant and voice your opinion about a corporation. Because most likely you're not the only one that has an issue about something. Hey, I was by Nike sneaker app and stuff. I buy the shoes, I resell the shoes. Simple shit. I'm looking at these shoes, I'm like, hey, or I'm looking at this app. This app ain't that great. Get on Twitter, look up the hashtag stuff. Oh look, everybody's talking about this app. And then look, here's Nike putting an article out. Oh, we know the app is not that great. We gotta do better. Blah blah. Hey, at least you admit to it. You're probably lying about it that you're not gonna do better. But hey, at least you admit to it. At least we have some type of mutual understanding that we're all on the same page. That the product that you're producing is not that good. To bring it all back around, back to Madden football with EA Sports, they admit that the shit is not that good. That they need to do better. Will they do better? Probably not. I mean, clearly they didn't do it this year. They can blame their circumstances or whatever, but no, you guys just always suck. You've been sucking for decades. So, but understand, you as a consumer, you don't have to fall for it. You can say, you know what, I'm not playing this shit. You can say, you know what, I'm not buying this shit. And you say, you know what, I'm good. I can't even think of the last time I've been out to eat. Because a lot of times it's like, you know what, if I want a decent steak, I want something, I can just go buy it and cook it myself and save myself money. I hate fucking cooking. But life lessons. I had to learn how to cook in the Air Force. Doing shit I did not want to do. So now I'm at the point in my life, I'm like, you know what, I still hate fucking cooking, but I did for so many years for these motherfuckers. I know how to do it for my kids anyways. So when I'm by myself now, I'm like, you know what? I've kind of always been like that for a while. I'm like, I'm really like, you know what? Fuck it. I want a nice steak or somewhere. I want this, whatever. I'll just go fucking buy it from the grocery store and cook the shit myself. And I enjoy going out eating stuff. I enjoy going to restaurants sometimes, but I'm doing it even seldomly more now. But it's knowing your options and knowing what you have available to you as a consumer. It probably sounds like I'm all over the fucking place. I'm trying to make it all connect. 'Cause it connects in my head because I'm logically going from one thing to another, but I see the big picture of what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to use the word consumer to connect all this together to give you that bigger perspective of everything. Because whether it's educational system, whether it's jobs you have and stuff, the opportunity that's available, scholarships, we're always a potential consumer of a product. So you as a consumer guy has to be well informed as the best as you possibly can be. Because the business or whoever that's trying to sell you their product, they're not going to tell you that someone else has got a better offer for you. We know there's scholarships, but what? You don't know what scholarships are available because the scholarships are available. They're not going to tell you, oh, hey, yeah, we give you the scholarship, but did you know there's other people that offer scholarships for you too? That might be better than our scholarship program we're offering. No, they're going to just sell you that scholarship. When they sell you a loan, they're not saying, hey, look at all these other loans. They're going to say, hey, no, our loan is the best. And that's where you go use your options. Find, do some researching. Look up stuff. Ask somebody a question. Hell, ask the people that offer you something. Like, hey, you offer me this, but, well, does someone else offer anything? Does someone else has a better product than you that you're not telling me about? Do you expect them to tell you the truth? No. But wherever information they tell you, you use that information to decipher to kind of gauge what the fuck is going on. If I go, say I go buy a car. I go to car lot and they show me the price of this car and the options and the features in this car. And I say, hey, well, is this the best car that you know of? I mean, is this car for the best price that you know of? Are there other car lots that might have a better price or might have the same car but a different upgrade around the same price? Or do you know these things? And say they tell you, I don't know, yeah, I mean, if you go do I guess you look up online maybe. That lets me know right there what type of person you are, what type of car lot you are, what type of business you are. Do you care about me personally as a consumer? And if you get business, you do. If you don't get business, you don't. Do you care about some type of ethics you have, some honesty, some integrity? Or are you more concerned about getting my money? Because now I know where you stand at. Even though you gave me no real solid information, because you didn't answer my actual question, it lets me know, hey, I understand who you are. There's a lot of times where I might ask a question and I don't care what the answer is. I just want to know how the fuck you respond to me. And we do this in our own personal lives, in our own personal relationships. I do it as a parent with my kids. Hey, I just want to see how they respond. Because it lets me know, it gauges me, okay, what's going on? Are they going to be truthful and honest? Are they going to be upfront? Or are they going to try to give me a runaround? Or are they going to directly lie to my face? I'm going to use this example because off the top of my head, I remember it clearly. I remember I asked the city of Lakeland, I tweeted them, I asked them, hey, how they had the deaths from COVID-19 for the county, for Polk County. They had the number of cases for Polk County. They had a number of cases for Lakeland, the city in which I live in. So I asked them, hey, how, and I know I said this before, but just to kind of tie this in, I'm a consumer. I live in the city. I pay taxes and stuff in the city, for the most part, and then, I do things in the city or whatever. So I'm a consumer of the product because City of Lakeland is incorporated. So I'm some type of consumer. So I'm like, hey, why is it that you're not telling me how many deaths are in Lakeland? And I asked that question. I know they weren't gonna give me the real good answer, but I didn't have my expectations set low that I wasn't gonna get a real answer. Hope for the best, expect the worst. Military mentality. Or maybe it's just a real world mentality. I don't know. That's just something I know I just always say or hear in the Air Force. Or hell, maybe I said it. Nah, other people said it too. Or whatever. But my thing is like, I just want to know what type of response is going to give me because based on the response, I understood what type of institution they were. They responded back saying that the information that they post is the data and the statistics or whatever that they post or whatever is based on the Florida Health Department, and they only get their statistics from there, and they just report what they tell them. Cool. That right there obviously did not answer my question, because they didn't say no, we don't know. They didn't say yes, we do know. All they said was we report the information that we're told to report. Cool. Perfect. That lets me know where you stand at. That lets me know that you're not going to do your own investigative work. You're not, or you're not going to tell me the actual numbers. You're not going to let me know. So how can I be an informed consumer, a resident in the city of Lakeland? How can I be an informed citizen if you're not willing to give me the full information? And that is troublesome. And that brings my whole point around to what I was talking about Madden football. Why are you giving me this low quality of product? Knowing damn well that I know and you know this is low quality product. Don't try to play me. Don't talk down on me. Don't think I'm lesser than what you are. Don't think I'm not capable of understanding what the fuck you're talking about. There's a serious problem here. Because I thought we had a mutual relationship, consumer and business. But apparently, you just think I'm nothing. And you can just sell me whatever. I'm just going to buy this shit. That's not how it works, man. No. Apparently, the city of Lakeland just thinks that I'm just going to be like, oh, okay. I told them, okay, thanks. And they like my response. And it's like, huh, you really think I'm just that dumb? You don't think I have no intelligence? Because we all have intelligence. Because true intelligence is wisdom, is self-awareness, understanding the reality of which you are in, understanding the perspective of the reality of which is trying to be spun to you. In my own definition, that's real intelligence. And I'm pretty sure it's in others' definition too. Because I probably got it from there anyways. From philosophers throughout the years, from scientists, from doctors, theoretical physics, whatever. All the shit I read. So, me as a resident of the city of Lakeland, if you're going to sit there and tell me, literally tell me that you're going to give me a runaround answer and not tell me the death, and not even say, yes, we know the deaths, or no, that we don't know the deaths. Just say that, oh, well, we just reported information that the Florida Health Department has. And not even say, oh, well, okay, well, do I need to go look on the Florida Health Department website? Okay, no, nothing. The Florida Health Department website doesn't even have the city of Lakeland. In fact, I don't even know they even talk about the deaths in each city. I think it just goes county. And I say, and to put into context, the city of Lakeland, in Polk County, the city of Lakeland is the biggest city. So as I'm looking at this stuff, they actually tell me how many beds or whatever are at the Lakeland Regional Hospital, which is like the major big hospital in Polk County. So as I'm looking at the number of cases in Lakeland and I'm looking at the number of cases in Polk County, majority of the cases are coming from Lakeland. So deductive reasoning will conclude that majority of the deaths will be in Lakeland too. It's just simple questions, man. That's all it is, just simple questions. Me as a consumer, me as a resident, me understanding that I know I have a part in this whole thing. I play a role in all this. Whether I'm the small cog in the big machine, no matter what, I still play a fucking role in this. You play a role in this. We all play a role in this. Every time you go buy something, how many times you went to a car lot to get your oil changed? You get your oil changed, what they try to do? Sell you shit. hey, if you do this to your car, blah blah, it'll be so much better. But see, me as a consumer, I, I learned from my mother. I learned from other people. Hey, you need to read your owner's manual to your car. Because you go get your oil change, and hey, they put the little fucking sticker on your windshield to tell you, hey, come back in 3 months, or 3 months, or if you reach this mileage. Yet, if you read your owner's manual, your shit might say every 6 months with a whole different type of mileage. But they're a business trying to sell a product. Their product is oil change service, or they're trying to sell a service. So it's either a product or a service. So they're trying to sell you a service. I can't sell you a service of oil change, and or if I want to sell you a service of oil changing, do I want you to come back every 6 months, or can I increase my profits and have you come back half of that time, every 3 months? They always say there's no ethics in business, because I mean, is there? Because it's a social contract. It's a contract between the business and the consumer. So as a consumer, if as a business you give me the product of this poor video game, the quality is low, and as a consumer, if I sit back and say, okay, well, I get it, I'm just gonna keep buying it. Where's the incentive for you as a business to do anything different? So wherever you want to blame, it doesn't matter. There's always room to blame, or there's always plenty of blame to go around for everybody. Understand that. There's plenty of blame to go around for everybody. Fuck it. We can blame everybody and anybody. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. But accountability is the main thing. Be accountable. Raise your expectations of yourself. Become more informed. Become more aware. Because I've been playing Madden way too fucking long. I don't have short-term memory problems. Well, I do, but not to that extent. That's long-term memory. That's long-term memory. I've been playing Madden for all these years. And my long-term memory is like, hey, why is it not in the game when it was in the game? Why you been telling me that shit's gonna be so much better, and yet you're not living up to your expectations, and not even living up to it, you're not even trying. To even put it into more context, I was watching, well, I said earlier, Ryan Moody 21, he's on YouTube. He showed a clip of how he was doing a practice with his team. It was, not a real game, no real cap score, nothing, just practicing plays and stuff in the practice mode. He paused the game, went and zoomed in on the sideline. The banner down the bottom of the sideline said Madden 20 NFL football. The banner all the way at the back of the stadium behind the bleachers said Madden 19 NFL football. That right there says all you need to know. And you could probably find that shit in a lot of different businesses. And be like, hey, different corporations. Like, hey, the product you're giving is not what the fuck I'm willing to pay for anymore. Do something with this shit. Do something with this shit. Understanding who you are as a consumer puts you into perspective, understanding your role and the part that you play in society. It gets no, I want to say it gets no better than that, it gets no simpler than that, but it gives you a nice perspective, man. Because sometimes we kind of feel like we don't have no control. And we have control. You just got to understand what areas and levels you have control of. You might be a cause of something, or you might be the effect of something. But you're one or the other. Goes back to duality. You're one or the other, and then you're all that shit in between. And you're bouncing around. So me as a consumer, and and other consumers are like, you know what? We don't want to buy this game anymore. We're gonna hold out because there's other games to play. And for me, like playing basketball I can't play basketball in real life no more. Medical issues, I can't play basketball in real life no more. And that's a hard thing for me to deal with. But I would like to be able to have a chance to play some type of simulation basketball as a video game. But I can't get a simulation basketball because now you have NBA 2K not giving a fuck either, giving lower quality product. But understanding myself as a consumer, I'm like, you know what? I'm not buying your shit. I'm not buying it. Cool. I'm not buying it. I'm not even gonna watch the YouTubers that create the content. Understanding your role. Isn't that what they tell you now, anyways? If you want to protest something, go protest. You bring attention to it. You have power. If we want change, we can demand change. Okay, I want a better product. Bitch, I'm demanding a better fucking product. Hey, City of Lakeland, I want you to tell me exactly how many fucking people are dying here. Because I'm a resident, and I want to make an informed decision. Not a decision you want me to make, but an informed decision based on my own knowledge and understanding. Because I have high expectations of myself that I'm capable, or I have not high expectations, I have a high level of standard for myself. If anyone has ever been in the military, that's all they talk about, the standard. Do you meet the standard? You need to meet the standard, do you need to exceed the standard? Why is that same type of mythology, why is that same type of psychology or philosophy, that ideology is in every facet of society for you as an American citizen, for you as a human being? Why are you not raising your standards? Because what standards do you need to meet other than the standards that you set for yourself? And why are you not setting the highest standards? Understand that you have limits, but also know that eventually over those times, those limits will change. Because you know you will break past those limits. How many times have you tried to learn something and you just couldn't get it, but you stayed with it? And next thing you know, you knew it, or you were way better at it than what you ever thought you was gonna be. Because all it was time. You might not be the most naturally gifted athlete, but we put some practice and work into it, you'll get better at it. There's tons of people in the fucking NBA that if you watch them, you're like, you know what? They probably shouldn't be in the fucking NBA. Why are they here? I'm sure there's a bunch of variables and factors as to why. Part of their height. But then there's people in the NBA that are my height. I stand about 5'8" with shoes on. A little bit over 5'8". I just talked about my own height, made myself feel better. But yeah, there's people in the NBA and NFL that play sports my height. Football, my height. Soccer, my height. I mean, you already have to kind of be a part of the genetic lottery, right? So they tell you. But what is that movie about? That one dude with Sean Austin playing Rudy, finding a way. I think the Miracle or something like that too, with Mark Wahlberg. I think he was a kicker or a punter or something, and ended up getting in the NFL. We love those stories. Perseverance, or how the regular person made it. But we don't ever talk about those stories when it comes to the 8 million millionaires in this country. Because not all are inherited money. Why is that the case? Pay attention, man. Know who you are. Embrace who you are. Set those standards for yourself. Pass those standards. High expectations, high reward. So until next time.